Saw some major rainfall throughout the day and into this evening as the risk of severe weather continues through the weekend. At Dixie Road and Blundell Road in Mississauga, cars were submerged in the water, many of them becoming stuck due to the heavy onslaught of rain. A special weather statement and a severe thunderstorm warning is currently in effect for the region. The Toronto and Region Conservation Authority says it had 81 millimeters of rain within an hour at one point throughout the day, and parts of the GTHA saw upwards of that amount as well. In Mississauga, again, major flooding in the area caused road closures between Rathburn and Elora Drive, as well as Mavis Road and Lafayette Drive. Environment and Climate Change Canada was advising residents to keep kids and pets away from riverbanks due to the risk of flash floods, and as well as being prepared for what is being described as nickel-sized hail. To see what the forecast has in store for us next, let's bring in weather specialist Noor Rafat. Hey, Noor.
Hey, thanks very much, Mark. Well, truly some devastating images that we're seeing there. A bit of a flashback to that mid-July storm that we saw that caused flash flooding in Toronto. Just now, we were seeing some calm conditions, some dry conditions outside the Toronto airport for a number of hours. Highs today don't tell the full picture. 25 degrees in Toronto, felt closer to 33 with the humidity, and that was the case pushing towards the east as well. A tad bit cooler in the north, but it's that humidity that helps fuel some of these thunderstorms, and for the most part, as the sun set, we started to see the severe thunderstorms die down. Still seeing that heavy rain, though, up towards North Bay. With that, the severe thunderstorm watches lifting, the warnings also lifting, and the tornado watches in Halton Hills and Milton up towards northern York region also lifting. But of course, for some communities, the damage already has been done. We know a possible tornado has been spotted just 30 minutes south of the Waterloo region. So many reports of massive destruction, cars flipped over as well. Still left with these, though. These are alerts by Environment Canada predicting more rainfall come tomorrow, up to 60 millimeters potentially for the GTHA. Additional 60 millimeters, I should say, and we'll talk about how much we've already seen in the full forecast. For now, expecting some downpours early tomorrow morning in the Toronto region, and as we head through the afternoon, once again, we're going to be fully involved in these thunderstorms for a large portion of the province. Your overnight tonight, though, mostly dry in Toronto, very warm at 22 degrees, a slight chance of a shower, and by tomorrow, here are those downpours early in the morning, changing to thunderstorms by the late afternoon. 24 degrees feels closer to 33 when you factor in the humidex. Mark?
All right, thank you so much, Noor. And the heavy rain forced the cancellation of the 165th running of the King's Plate at Woodbine Racetrack. The first jewel of the Canadian Triple Crown was one of 8 races that were called off due to unsafe track conditions today. 5 races did run before heavy rain made the track a complete mess. The King's Plate is North America's oldest continuously run stakes race. A new study is pointing out some staggering variability in weight. Nor you never quite shake that feeling that summer's over when August ends, even though technically it doesn't. But, you know, you want these last weekends of August to count, to be good weather-wise, and not everyone's getting that this time.
Yeah, that's essentially the case, Mark. I know so many people in central Canada, especially in Ontario, have been taken aback by all of what we're seeing in terms of severe storms. Some of that rain is going to push towards Canada and the east come tomorrow. In the prairies in the west coast, it's all about that wildfire smoke the next few days. How much rain did we see in the span of an hour, if not 2, in the GTHA? Well, some unverified reports suggest we could have seen around 128 millimeters of rain at Toronto Pearson. How much rain do we get throughout the entirety of August? Around 68 millimeters. So if those numbers are true, and it does seem like we're getting pretty close to that amount, this could be record-breaking rainfall for the Toronto region and potentially breaking the daily rainfall record as well that we previously broke in July during that storm. We know areas like Etobicoke and Mississauga receiving close to 100 or upwards of 100 millimeters of rain today in the span of an hour or 2. Tomorrow, more of that rain on the way. Heavy in the morning, thunderstorms in the late afternoon will bring some more accumulations. For the most part, your temperatures will be cooler on the thermometer, but with the humidity feeling a whole lot warmer, closer to 33. Your downpours are gonna unfold close to the 6-7 a.m. mark in Toronto, but by the afternoon, thunderstorms through much of southern Ontario towards the east and up towards the north as well. Things will get better as the sun sets, and a lot of these storms will push towards the northeast, continuing into the Quebec region. Monday brings significantly improved conditions, especially into the afternoon. For the most part, though, we'll see some lingering rain in eastern Ontario towards the Cornwall and Kingston region. So Environment Canada predicts we could see 60 additional millimeters in the GTA come tomorrow. Our models show that could be possibly around 8 millimeters in Toronto, heavier towards the Trenton area heading into your Monday. That's when they're going to see a lot more of these accumulations as opposed to tomorrow. 21 overnight tonight in Toronto, a tad bit cooler in Windsor at 18. By tomorrow, that turns to 24 degrees, quite warm along the water as well. 24 in Oshawa, 25 in Hamilton. And as we head through your next 7 days, Monday, a sharp cool down, and take a look at the humidity down to 22, but a lot of strong winds will start to slowly warm up and dry up as we head into the latter half of the week. Friday and Saturday, high 20s, a mix of sun and cloud.
Warned to prepare for severe weather conditions this weekend, including the risk of heavy rainfall, even tornadoes. A special weather statement and a severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect for the city. The Toronto and Region Conservation Authority says it has already seen 81 millimeters of rain within an hour. In Mississauga, Peel police say major flooding in the area has caused road closures between Rathburn Road and Elora Drive, as well as Mavis Road and Lafayette Drive. Environment and Climate Change Canada is advising residents to keep kids and pets away from riverbanks due to the risk of flash floods and to brace for nickel-sized hail. Now let's bring in weather specialist Noor Rafat with more on your weekend forecast. Hey, Noor.
Hey, thanks very much, Mark. Yeah, lots going on in the forecast today. We're seeing some boats on the Toronto Harbour as well. You should not be out on the water in conditions like this. We're looking at 23 degrees outside the Toronto airport. It is feeling closer to 33, though, and it's this humidity that helps fuel a lot of these storms that we've been seeing through the day. We're still seeing those passing through the city centre just now, but for the most part, things have been most severe around the Halton Hills region and towards the north and east of that. That's where we're seeing tornado watches still in effect. Milton, Caledon, up towards northern York region and into New Tecumseh as well. But for the most part, still also seeing reports of a tornado touching down 30 minutes or so south of Kitchener. Although no confirmation by Environment Canada, we are seeing reports online of severe damage over there. Severe thunderstorm watches continue through much of the GTHA and into the Niagara Falls region. And then we have these two alerts, which are for rain up towards the Bruce Peninsula. Those are some of the highest amounts, potentially 100 millimeters. Towards Algonquin, potentially 80 millimeters. And in the Toronto region, originally forecasted 50 to 100. Now Environment Canada saying closer to 200 possible. We'll talk about what our models are showing in the full forecast. We're expecting a downpour in the Toronto region, perhaps around the very early morning hours come tomorrow, and then round 2 of these storms rolls through later on in the afternoon. So your overnight brings a slight risk of a shower in Toronto, 22 degrees, and come tomorrow your high at 24. The thunderstorms later on in the evening, taking us to around 8 p.m. Mark?
All right, thank you so much, Noor. And the heavy rain forced the cancellation of the 165th running of the King's Plate at Woodbine Racetrack. The first jewel of the Canadian Triple Crown was one of 8 races that were called off due to unsafe track conditions today. 5 races did run before heavy rain made the track a complete mess. The King's Plate is North America's oldest continuously run stakes race. Jasper residents continue. Nor as we grow up from the time that we're kids, we get this idea of summer in our heads being basically the stretch from June to August, right? And so now we're getting into later August and every weekend counts, and the forecast isn't really playing ball here.
Yeah, that's essentially the case, Mark. Well, many were hoping to enjoy this weekend in central Canada, the east. We're really focused on storms and incoming storms in the next few days. Western Canada, the prairies, a whole lot of smoke in the forecast. Well, it was quite incredible to see how, for a short period of time, we had patches of sunshine, and in the matter of minutes, those ominous, dangerous-looking clouds taking over, and that's when it started to pour in the Toronto region. We're looking at more of those downpours come tomorrow, very early in the morning, think 4 to 6 a.m., and then we're going to see some more of that activity into the afternoon, mixed in with some thunderstorms, 24 feeling closer to 31 in Toronto. So do expect some more thunderstorms later on this evening through the GTA. Your overnight getting a bit quieter, and then as we head into tomorrow morning, as I mentioned, a lot of us in the Toronto region, even approaching the Oshawa area rather, could be seeing those downpours early in the morning. By the afternoon, thunderstorms take over, and it looks like some of the heaviest that we're going to be seeing is past North Bay around the western Quebec region later on in the afternoon. Things will start to quiet down as we head into your Monday, although for the most part the eastern portions of Ontario could still be seeing some cloud cover and rain for the start of their work week. These are just initial estimates, and it's very hard to predict how much rain thunderstorms could bring, but for the most part, those downpours in Toronto tomorrow morning in the afternoon, we could be looking at an additional 72 millimeters of rain, potentially. Some reports are showing that we've already seen around 105 millimeters in the Etobicoke and Mississauga region over the span of 2 hours, if not less. Your temperatures will see a sharp drop come Monday when we see those thunderstorms move out. A change in wind direction from the north, 19 degrees. Things will slowly start to get warmer heading into the weekend, 28 for your Saturday.